So it's time to have one last look at my garden whilst everything's still planted out. It's the end of September now. Had a few cold mornings, cold nights down to about 3 degrees on a few occasions. Almost a bit of frost. A lot of wind and rain recently has battered a few of the plants. So a lot of it's looking past the best now, so it's time to look towards wrapping some of this stuff up and digging it up for winter. But before I do that, I thought I'd have one last look at the garden and to comment on how everything's grown throughout the season. For my own benefit, for future years I can look back how quickly or how slowly plants have grown. So I'll start off in the front garden. A pot display, as you can see, still looking pretty good. The front border of the bananas. The Onsete Morelii, been battered by the recent winds. But it's grown a decent size. It's not grown hugely this year, but the bed it's in, it's not the best. It makes a good display in the front garden. Canthus that have grown from cuttings. There's about 20 plants dotted about the front garden. That's going really well. I'll take cuttings of that soon for overwintering. The greeny-eyed gingers have grown from buwels. They've grown to about 4 foot or so tall. And they've done pretty well, although not flowered. Musa, pretty slow growing in the front garden, but made a good display of it. The Verity ginger here, beautiful coloration. About 4 plants now. That's grown really nicely. Never had flower off that yet, but it's just nice foliage plant. More Musa and gingers. The fig tree that I keep cutting down keeps growing. Lots of big figs. I think there's a nice fig ready to eat there, if I like some, that is. There's quite a lot of others as well. What else have we got down here? Some nice bedding that I'll take cuttings off soon. Nice underplanting. Here you can see all the gingers. Loads of this Verity. It's grown really well, beautiful variegation on it. Contrasting with the greeny eye behind. Got the Phoenix palm here. Going well. Part shade here. There's a T-Rex in a pot just behind, which was like a root cutting a couple of years ago. Had a decent sized plant. Bamboos. They've grown really well this year. The biggest culms are about 5-6 foot taller than previous ones. Filled out now. Nice little spider there, eating a hoverfly. Dahlias, which will stay as they are, probably in the pots. Take a few up. Nice diamond head colocasia has done really well. Beautiful dark leaves, grown well even though it's been a cool summer. Another Onsete there, Lasio carpa, which I think might flower soon. It's producing smaller and smaller leaves. The bamboos in general have been good. This year's the first year I've had lily beetle on my lilies. This Echium has grown really well. Thanks to Joel for that. Hopefully it'll flower next year if I can get it through winter. Ioniums have done as expected. Loads of cuttings that were just planted through there. Have all grown well. Californian poppies self-seeded each year. My big variegated yucca, which has done really well. This Echivera survived last winter outside, just a bit of glass over the top. And that looks really nice now. And again, this Distillerion, that's done well, survived the last 3 winters. Although the main plant did die in the very bad winter a couple of years ago. Polyphila there. Distillerion in the middle there. There's a Puntia. Been outside for about 4 years now. It's grown well, not suffered any damage in the winters. This is my new Yucca resida, or resida. Really stiff pointed leaves, beautiful blue coloration. That's gorgeous. That, if it was sunny you would see how blue that is. Another daisy longicium there. Not seen it grow much this year, so hopefully it'll settle in by next year. And then verbena, self-seeded throughout the garden. At its best probably now, end of September. This Thai black banana, nice black pseudostem. It's been slow but steadily growing all summer, and the leaves don't rip if you look at that really. Only one rip there, and none up there compared to some of the other bananas. Other palms down there, slowly but surely growing. And the wash is growing, about 4 leaves this year. All the bamboos in pots. There's parvifolia in the background. And then the pot displays. Again, I'll take cuttings, I'll lift up the tubers, those plants. Bootia. Grown pretty well this year actually, about 3 good fresh green leaves. Nearly got rid of all the spotting on the older leaves now. That's nice to see. So that's pretty much the front garden. Move around to the side, we've got this bra here. It's blue leaves, not as many this year, about 3 full leaves. Last year was about 6 or 7. But again, it's getting a bit thicker at the base now, which is nice to see, a bit steadier as well. And the bamboo, I've grown lots and lots of new culms on this one. Chiscaya, Gigantea. This is a recently repotted Gigantea. 8 litre as well, extra root growth. Displays by the side door. Still nice and colourful. Another polyphila, that's that Joel, and Garvey Montana. These more arid palms here, so we've got Chimerops cerifera, Chimerops humilis, Yucca strata, which is taller than me, about 6'6". Bootia. And some other little ceriferas there, and Vulcano. Not grown particularly much this year, about 3, 4, 5. Those blue leaves at the top are new. And on the Vulcano, again 2 or 3 new leaves, plus lots of grown points pushing through there as well. So some more pots, flowers, begonias which I'll lift and store, tree fern, big drabea which has grown pretty well this year. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 3.5 new leaves. That spear coming out as well. So hopefully I'll be able to get that in the ground within the next year if I ever sell a house. These are all small little trachypalms and other things. So I've got a lot of Gemini sectus there. Got some manipurs. Latisectus. Got Nova. One decent looking Tachyle, the other ones are not looking very good at all. That is starting to look alright now. That is a Nanus, which is quite hard to come by. Lots of little aloes grown from seed and agaves. Again, cheers to Joel for those. Right, here we come to the sick bay. So we've got that Caryophoenix Amphidii, which is needing some iron. It's gone completely yellow. I'm trying to rescue that. This isn't in the sick bay, it's just in a sheltered spot. It's my Mekon giant banana, which has not shredded any leaves really. And it's growing well. Thanks for that, Christian. Aces, and then this is the sick bay. So we've got the little Tachylles that are not doing too well at spotting. I have to cut off most of the leaves. Got my double-headed Princeps, where the main plant to the right is probably not going to grow. It's just the plant to the left which is taken over. Got my recovering Chimerops from the winter or two back, when it was pretty much spear pulled and wasn't looking good, but all that's growth in the last sort of 12 months, so that's grown well. There's a washy filibuster in the back which has survived for about 6 years. I've pretty much given up on that one now, it doesn't grow very fast. So I'm umming whether to keep it or not. I'll just leave it outside and see if it survives. Got my Fatster hedger there. Got a variegated form and a plain form which has grown really well up to about 5 foot or so this year. And then we come to the greenhouse, which is ready for winter. Got a few things in there for now. Got my biggest Princeps, which is doing well. My Pagerbea sunkers, which are just sort of large seedlings basically. And then I've got some Colocasias there, and Alocasia, sort of recovering from the poor summer we've had, and red spider might have had. No idea what this Colocasia is. It should have been Nance's Revenge, but I don't know if it is, to be honest. It's not like any other Colocasia I've got. It's very, very slow growing, so I'm not certain what that is. Palm seedlings, some of which I've actually grown myself from date stones, like these two here. Got my new cacti, which hopefully will be huge columnar cacti that we planted out. Don't know how many years it'll take them to start growing to a large size. It could be 5, 10, 20 years time, but I'll stick with them. These are my hybrid Bootia Jabutias F2 and F1. And these are my seed-grown Sabal palms, about 5 different types of Sabal palm there. Dark stem hybrid Colocasia. The main plant actually rotted away completely about a month ago, as you can see there, even though it's been in the greenhouse. And these side shoots have grown just over the last 2 or 3 months to take over from that. So that's the greenhouse. We're ready for a lot more plants to come in over the coming weeks. Right, let's move into the back garden, to the main border, which is over there. It's still looking very nice. of the back end of September. Still lots of flowers, lots of nice big green leaves. There's still quite a lot of growth still in these plants, as long as it doesn't get too cold or frosty at night time. We'll start here with this Sycamentis that I grew myself from seed. It's just over a year old. Beautiful coloration on the newest leaves. Lots of coleus around that, which I filled out throughout the summer. Now this Ptora alocasia, red spider mite's got to this. You can see the leaves are quite yellow, apart from the newest one, which is a lot greener. So I'm going to cut off all these leaves apart from the centre one. There's a new leaf coming through as well, and then I'll lift it for winter very soon. This is picked up finally, this main mask, beautiful coloration on it underneath of the leaves. And the Xanthodecia in the corner there. Phormium yellow wave, some nice ferns on the side, kiwi vine which is trying to take over. Now this Gardenia alocasia has grown really well even in these cold conditions. It's producing nice, glossy, decent sized leaves, about 30-40 centimetres across. A nice bushy plant, which I'll hopefully separate and get a few more plants when I move house. This umbrella plant's been out all year. Almost forgot about it, but it's looking okay. This is a Montbelliardiae Ansete banana, which has grown okay, but it's only grown 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th leaf coming since I planted it out in May, so it's not been too fast this year. It has been a cool year. Mosses and ferns. Still some flowers back there. This is Gigantea, Phaefugium gigantea leaves. Slugs love it. There's Stelia silver spear. Actually no, that's a Stelia nervosa, which is, again, slugs seem to like that as well. Jack Frost, always reliable, very hardy plant, contrasting with the aces. And then this Fatsia has gone mental this year. It's grown absolutely huge, lots of growth on that this spring. All over there. This bed's been a little bit disappointing. Some of the colocasias not really grown much at all at Fontesii. And the Eucomis have survived all winter, grown well this year. If I get down, you can see they've still got some flowers on them. It was a bit late, it's quite cooler on this side of the garden. I also forgot some Phaefugiums, the roughly edged one and the spotty one. And some little dahlias, more bedding basically. This is a pink China colocasia that's grown pretty well. Lots and lots of growth points on that one. And then this nice cactus dahlia, beautiful coloration on the petals. Again, that will left out all winter and it's grown really well. We've got the Fatsias here, they're in pots. The tree ferns are in pots as well. So we've got some nice Dixonias there. First year they've grown them. Of these particular plants, I've had some plants before that didn't make it after the very cold winters. I've still got 1 or 2 apples I need to pick off my apple tree. Gunner back there. Let's get in there and see everything else. Got some gingers in there, more dahlias. Spiders web Fatsia. And then if I can climb in, we've got some nice Seiaphia tree ferns here. I've got that's Medullaris, and just behind over here, that one there is Aphia australis, which is meant to be a bit harder. I'm not going to test it till it's a lot bigger plant. And there should be, there's another Aphia down there as well. The tree lilies grew to a good 7 foot tall. They did well. So I'm happy with this shady corner. There's polycarpa in there as well. Right, this is my T-Rex. It's grown to about 6 foot tall. Huge leaves, all maxed out. The biggest ones at 1 metre. They're all about 85 to 95 centimetres across. As you can see, the smaller leaves have been grown recently because it's trying to flower. It's been trying to flower for a couple of months now, to be honest. So we'll see what happens with that over winter. It's not protected at all over the last few winters, and it's been completely fine. This Serashima bamboo gone crazy this year. It's grown upwards, outwards, everywhere. Need to cut it back a bit because it's covering all my Princeps hybrids that I'm experimenting with the different fertilisers. And these will be brought into the garage very soon. If the frosts come, not too bad at least. Don't mind a little bit of frost, but not heavy frost. There's some cannas that I didn't plant out. As you can see, there's still in the sands that they overwintered in last year, but they all came back. There's my planted Trachycarpus, which we only planted palm in this garden. It's grown nice, beautiful leaves. Fighting with the T-Rex there. So let's get back out. Milianthus. It's going really well since August onwards. We've got a nice greeny eye here that's about to flower. Well, it'll try to flower. I don't know if it's got enough time before winter to flower. Back there, I've got a Hineba Insete banana, which has grown really tall. About 7, 8 foot tall, the tallest part of the leaves. Another Montbelliardier there, which has been more battered by the winds than the Hineba, really. I've got 2 grasses here. I've got a Rundodornax, which is this one. Again, that grown to about 7 foot tall. Same height as this Miscanthus sacrofolius. Pink stems, beautiful leaves. This looks like sugarcane to me. There's a banana plant. Still pushing out leaves, although they'll be dug up very soon. Underplanting of all the Coleus bought from the market as tubers and grown, as well as some pink china. Got some other plants that have overwintered the last few years and put out as cuttings. That is fuchsia. And these Coleus have been, as you can see, eaten by slugs, shaded out, not fared too well over the last few months, although we're looking really good when it was planted out. Some of the Coleus still looking very nice. This very multicoloured one here. What else have we got here? Yeah, we've got a nice diamond head colocasia there. Now this one could be pink china, it could be sangria. I did get one sangria a year or so ago. I'm not certain if it was, but this one's grown pretty big. Got big leaves on there. Musabaju, which I've had for several years now. It hasn't grown much at all really this year. I can't say it's grown any height at all, maybe a few inches if that. It's only just getting over the fence. The tallest leaves are about 6.5 foot. I've got the variegated Rundodonax, got the dahlias. They've grown well. This is my favourite colocasia that I grew. Well, I kept it dry over winter, just a tuber on its own. It's outperformed everything that I kept trying to go in as plants. Plus it's done a lot better than the shop bought tubers from the market, sorry. This one's okay as well. A really bad red spider mite took all the leaves off back in sort of April, so literally no growth at all, top growth, and it's all come back. This is Black Beauty. The Lobelia cardinalis, still flowering now at the end of September. Same with this ginger, still got a few flowers left on this for SDI. Got a Cycad revoluta, which hopefully it will flush next year. Nearly lost that when I didn't water it at all. It was bone dry, but I think I rescued it. Got some more Princeps here. Some other unknown Trachycarpus palms here. One's an Anital, the others probably are as well. I've aborted other things. Tomatoes. Let's pick the last few and hopefully they'll ripen. This is my Trachycarpus aerophilis. Nice bluey leaves on the undersides. That's grown this year, just one full leaf, and this spear will open up possibly, well, early next spring probably, rather than this winter. It's a good sized plant, I'm happy with that one. Princeps here. This one's opening its, well, I think that's its second leaf. That's been slow growing this year, needs a bit more warmth, a bit more sun. This is my largest Manipur. Again, that's just grown one leaf, which is that one there. Quite floppy leaves. They're meant to be white on the undersides, Manipur, but mine's completely green. It's definitely a Manipur. And then my other Trachycarpus 49, which is a bit Nova-esque. I've had for a few years now in this pot, surrounded by heucheras. So yeah, overall it's been a bit of a disappointing year in terms of growth. Most plants would have rather had a lot more warmth, definitely a lot more sun. But as you can see, back end of September, the garden still looks decent and there's been a fair bit of growth. So I'm pretty pleased. Roll on 2013, when hopefully we'll have lots of sun. Hopefully winter 2012, 2013 will be very nice and mild, and I won't lose any plants, neither will anybody else. So that's my efforts for 2012.